Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to our new time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. All right, before we get started with everything today, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below, checking out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, maybe checking out the Witchy Shop, Desert Cauldron over on Etsy, maybe checking me out on the grams and all that good stuff. But today, you guys, you have voted for, it was actually a couple of things. So over on my channel's page, I put out a poll every Thursday, but I put out that same poll to Patreon and my YouTube members, which, by the way, love you guys. And it was really close in the polls. I mean, with the public poll, it seemed like most people wanted the Mayan ceremonial Xocolatl drink, which actually we will end up creating. But with my patrons and my YouTube members, it actually pushed creating a sweet llama spread over into the lead. And I figured since it was so close and I'm already in the kitchen, why not make both? So, so that's what we're going to be doing. All right. Actually, I forgot. It's actually hard to see the comments on this phone. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely Sunday, and I will go over all the things we need to make Lammas sweetbread. So actually, we're going to do that first because it takes a while for the bread to bake, about 50 minutes-ish, depending on like your altitude and how hot your oven is and all that stuff like that. So we'll do the sweet Lammas bread first. It's really simple to make. So if you have kiddos or your friends are over, I think it's a really fun project to do together in the kitchen. And then while that's baking, we'll go ahead and make our very special drink. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And then while that is baking, we will do our weekly reading, and then we'll do our super chat, super stickers, and then we'll do our channeled guided meditation. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. First, I want to thank all of my subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to 11,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. And to my YouTube members, Kayla and Nancy and Jonathan Cleese and Jolene and Duality Tales and Sea Captain 8611. Thank you guys so much. And to all of my patrons, Lily and Dana and Jamie and Kayla and Sugna Baby and Brandy, Jason, Brian, Palu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Danielle, one of our newest members, Joel, 1111, Casey Gritter, Oz, another new member, and Ashley, another new member. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I love when you guys, help to support the channel and, watch those Monday videos, which, by the way, guess what? We have Sasquatch Part 2 coming out tomorrow. So it seemed like a lot of you guys really liked the channeling we did with Sasquatch with my friend Anna. I guess it was like a couple months ago. And a lot of people were saying, hey, we have so many more questions. Let's do a part 2. So my boyfriend actually helped me with doing a part 2 of that channeling. And now I have even more questions. So I think we're going to end up needing to do a part 3. So the part 2 of the Sasquatch channeling is coming out mañana. Stay tuned, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or Arizona Mountain Standard Time. So see you guys tomorrow on that one. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the goodies that I have here. Okay. So what you're going to need for sweet llama spread, by the way, I said that this is it's really simple, easy to do. So yeah, not going to need yeast or any of that. Okay. Thank you. So you will need some baking soda. I just happen to have one of those large bags of baking soda that is going to last me like a year or more. You're going to need some brown sugar. It's going to make it nice and moist because, again, we're not going to use yeast. It's just going to be real simple. A little bit of the all-purpose flour, and if you have whole wheat flour or you have spelt flour, which like I have here in this 25-pound bag, you can bust that out. We also have some hazelnuts. We have pitted dates. Now, I would have preferred fig to help out with this because fig is going to make it really sweet and again, really moist. The dates are going to do the same thing. It's just going to have a little bit of a taste change to it. It's still going to be delicious, at least I hope. But anyway, so you want some dates to bring out that sweetness. I have a few things that I'm going to sprinkle on top of the bread that I'm not going to mix into it, but just on top while it bakes. I have a little bit of my steel cut oats. I'm going to use a little bit of whatever's left over of the hazelnuts, and I'm just going to throw a little bit of oats on top here. You're also going to need some buttermilk and butter, but I'm keeping the butter in the fridge right now because it has to stay cold until like the very last minute. So let's see if I'm missing anything. No, that's basically it. Wash your manos, friends. Making sure that we don't get our grubbies into this. But okay, so why am I making what's called a sweet lammas bread? Well, that's because according to many cultures, not just like the Celts and a lot of our ancestors, but now it was about the time that many cultures, at least in the northern hemisphere, would reap their first harvest. So, if you were planting things toward the very late winter, very early spring, a lot of those things have come to fruition. And so a lot of that would have been like wheat and, fig and a lot of the things that I have over here, they would have been plentiful right now. So they would have been creating this feast in celebration of that first harvest, not to use everything they harvested, but just as a gratitude and thanks for, Earth's bounty, for Gaia's bounty, for, allowing us to have these foods and, allowing us to grow them and be fruitful with them. And, for some people, they're going to be canning them or finding ways to preserve them for later. And then later in the year, around Mabon time, which is getting closer to, like September, November, we get closer to what we have here in America, which is Thanksgiving. That would be around our time of the second harvest. And of course, our final harvest around Samhain or Halloween time, before everybody just kind of buckles in for winter time. And hopefully that everybody had a really good harvest so that they would be able to make it through the winter. Now, in modern times, we don't have to worry about that so much because we could just go to the supermarket and, we can get this or that out of season. And so it might be hard for a lot of us to fathom what it must have been like for our ancestors. If we weren't able to yield good wheat that year, then we're probably not going to have a whole lot of bread. If we weren't able to get a lot of the summer fruits and things, then we're not going to be able to have those fruits during the wintertime. If we don't get our oranges, then, maybe we're not going to get our vitamin C through the wintertime. And so it was detrimental that the harvest was good. So you can bet your socks that these people were celebrating. So thankful, like, thank you. We have this harvest. We're going to live another year. Okay. So we have all of these ingredients. You're probably going to need a mixing bowl, a nice bread pan. I have a second bread pan just in case there's overflow. I don't know. Sometimes I make more than is needed. Need a spatula, something to mix this. I just got thrown off track. Mix your powders with. You're going to need your scissors to cut up the dates, and possibly a glass mixing bowl. I like to weigh things out. Sometimes I don't always use like my like measuring spoons and things like that. So I actually have this cool, I think it's from the 80s, food scale that my Aunt Caroline gave me like back in the day. She got it at the thrift store, and I had I think I had just started college, so this was like late 1999, and she was like, "You might need this for the dorms," and I've had it ever since. It's a good little food scale. It's not done me wrong. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, I am going to take my rings off because I don't want that to get them all nasty while I'm doing this. What you guys are also going to need to do is to get your oven going. So let's go ahead and get this baby to bake. We want to go 350 degrees. It's kind of already set to that. And we press start. Make sure that I don't have anything in there. Okay, good. All right, so that's going to warm up. Let's go ahead and get our goodies together. All righty. Okay. So first thing, let's go ahead and butter the loaf tin. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to go get my butter. Okay. Oh, you know what? There's a little bit of warm butter that's out. And I think I'll butter my tin with that. So this butter that we've had sitting out. I'm going to get a little paper towel here. And I'm just going to get a knife, actually. All right. I'm going to put some of this on the paper towel. And let's butter this baby. All the nooks and crannies. So that our bread does not stick to it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more butter because it also makes it have that nice like buttery crisp on the outside, which I think is delicious. All right. Okay, there we go. Pan is all buttered. I'm going to put this butter away. Okay. And as I put that off to the side, let's go ahead and we're going to mix together the flours. So the wholemeal flour, if you have it, or spelt flour, some all-purpose flour, the baking soda, the sugar, brown sugar, I should say. And then we're going to put some of that cold butter in there and we're going to mix it up with our fingers. Okay, so how much of each? Well, first we have that bowl. Oh, let me see, make sure you guys can see. All right. First in here, I want to put 9 ounces of that spelt flour. So let me get a little cup to grab this with. Okay, I'm going to use this to dig my spelt flour out. Okay, so we will have 9 ounces of this. Okay, I'm going to slowly put it into here until we have about 9 ounces. Okay, that's about 6 ounces. Okay, it's almost 8 ounces. I just find that weighing it out seems to be a little bit more accurate. There we go. 9 ounces, baby. Okay. Good, good. Carry on. All right. Also, those of you with long hair probably want to clip up your hair at this point, and that's what I'm about to do. Because the last thing I want in my lammas bread is hair. Okay. Whew. My hair is being cray-cray. It does not want to go up right now. Okay. That works. All right. So I'm going to take this, put it into my bowl. Okay. All right. Now we want 3 ounces of all-purpose flour. All right. So we'll go ahead and grab our little all-purpose flour here. All right, 3 ounces. 1, 2, 3. 3-ish. Yep, 3. Okay. All right. 3 ounces all-purpose flour. Okay. Put this flour over here. Roll this flour up. So, okay. Next thing we're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right. So, let's go get my measuring spoons. Ta-da! Measuring spoons. Let's get out a teaspoon. There we go. 1 teaspoon. And this is just going to help it rise. All right. 1 teaspoon into the bowl. Okay, next we're going to need 1.5 ounces of brown sugar. Now that doesn't seem like a whole lot of brown sugar, and that's because we're not really trying to get all of our sweetness from the brown sugar itself. We're using the molasses that's in the brown sugar to help to make it moist, because the sweetness is actually going to be coming from our dates. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's open this one. All right. I'm going to just kind of scoop it into here. 1.5 ounces. Let's see. Okay, there's 1. 1-ish. There's a whole 1. All right, that looks good. All right, about 1.5 ounces brown sugar. Okay. By the way, while I'm doing this, how is your Sunday going? Do you guys have any special plans? Did you do anything for Lammas or Lughnassadh? The Anglo-Saxon actually named the holiday Lammas, and it actually comes from the Anglo-Saxon word halfmas, which means half loaf or loaf mass. And it was the bread that would be served at church following the first harvest, so that the churchgoers could celebrate and revel in a bountiful harvest, and they would thank Jesus for their bounty. This came from the earlier tradition of Lughnassadh, which was with the Celts, and that was in honor of the god Lu, which was kind of considered like a sun god. And it was said that Lu, at this time, in honoring his mother or his stepmother, would also help with the fertilization of the earth. So he is said to enter the goddess and help to make things bountiful. Okay, so now we have all that in there. Let's push this back. And let's do a little mixy real quick. Riley says, buenos tardes a todos. Sí, buenos tardes, mis amigos. Okay, a little mix. All right, now we're going to put in the cold butter. So as you can see, it's pretty simple so far. So nothing too cray-cray. Just a little measuring things out. Don't even need a measuring cup, really. I'm just breaking up the chunks of some of the brown sugar right now, because if you don't break it up, then you get these like weird pockets in your bread where some of it's moist, some of it's not, some of it's super sweet, and some of it's not. So it just helps to make it more Even. Even Steven. Okay, so as for the cold butter, you're going to need 2.5 ounces of it, and you're going to want to cube it. So that way it makes it easier to mix. All right, so I'm going to put that there. Let's go ahead and get our cold butter. All right, so we want 2.5 ounces. So let me go back and get that knife that we were using. Okay, so it says that this is a 4-ounce stick. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half and some change actually, and see how we do. All right. I'm gonna put that in there and see if that's about, yeah, that's 2.5 ounces. Hey, look at me. All right. I'm gonna cube this up a little bit, again, to make it easier to mix. So I've made little cubes just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And let's do that. If you're wondering the kind of butter that I'm using Kerrygold, pure Irish butter. Maybe it's because, well, I was going to say because it's kind of like a Celtic tradition, but the Celts were more than just the Irish and the Scottish. They extended to parts of Wales and so many other parts in Europe. Okay, so more cubes, moss cubes. And I'm going to smush this in with my fingers. So this is like really about getting your hands like in it, because that's also what the harvest represents. Like you have used your bare hands, you know, along with shovels and everything to create this bounty. Okay, so I'm going to put this back over here. That goes there. I'm going to put this butter back in the fridge. All right. I was gonna think of like wiping off my hands, and I'm like, well, what's the point? I'm about to get them real in it. Okay, so here we go. We are going to take this butter and we're just gonna smash this flour into this cold butter. Eventually, this whole situation is going to get real sticky, and you want that. You don't want your bread to be real dry when it's going into the pan. It's going to be a sticky mess as you put it in, and then you're just going to want to try to, like, I don't know, level the top as best you can. Okay, so this just takes a little time. Hey, Time Harvest is here. It says, hey, I came late. How are you? I am doing fantabulous. Says not a lot of people today. You know, I think there must be something going on because there's a lot of people out of town this weekend doing stuff. So I think people are traveling out and about. They're trying to get their like camping stuff in before a lot of kids' school year starts. So I think it's a lot of like prepping for school for a lot of parents and stuff. So a lot of people getting ready to go back, especially if they're teachers. Riley saying hello to Time Harvest. He says, oi, Mitty, do you have a license for that knife, mate? Nice. Riley says, this is Morocco. We have the right to keep and bear butter knives. Time Harvest is wondering where Riley's from. This is Arizona. Oh, he was saying ancestry more. He says because he was speaking Spanish. Riley says, I'm white as rice now. Not sure what I was before, but I'm 2% black. Guess what part? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Time Harvest is Nigerian. It's a good guess. Okay, we have all this almost all mixed up. I like it. I like it. Okay, so you could see it's like little crumbles. Okay. Okay. Oops, that was just a little hard piece of. I'm just kind of feeling now, making sure there's no like little hard nuggets of brown sugar in here. Okay. Okay. All seems well mixed in. Let me just clap the flour off my hands. Clap on. Clap off. Okay. So now we're going to mix in the figs, the hazelnuts, and our buttermilk. So for the figs, we're going to need 6.5 ounces of those figs, and we're going to cut them into pieces. But remember, I don't have figs, so I'm using the next best thing, which is dates. Figs are technically out of season at the moment, and although sometimes modern grocery stores have everything in, no matter what season it is, they just, I guess a whole lot of people just aren't baking with fig right now. So no figgy pudding. Okay, so let's open this up. And let's get 6 ounces of these dates into here. Okay, that's about 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 6. Yeah, 6 ounces. Let's put one more fig, see how we do. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to put these back here. All right. So here's our figs. They look like little turd nuggets, but they're delicious. Time Harvest says, I love dates. So tasty. Yeah, you know what? I used to make these little, I think they were like cacao. Well, I call them like my power balls, but they were cacao and little nuts and stuff. And I grinded it up with dates, and they were just so nummy. Okay, so I'm just cutting them up right now. Let me move this over so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm just using my kitchen scissors to cut these up because they're going to add the sweetness to this bread. Little tiny pieces. This is so meditative, by the way. So if you're just looking to chillax, maybe make something that's going to taste delicious, and you don't want to have to use your brain too much, and you just want to be in a chill place, Lammas sweetbread. That's the way to go. And if you can get your hands on some figs, let me know how that turns out. If you end up using dates like I'm doing, let me know how it turns out. If you guys end up making variations on them, I would love to hear about it. Our oven, by the way, is ready. So I'm just finishing up with this. You can see it's making a little cool little pile of date. If you want to take a little date taste. Man, I love dates. Date and fig. Woo, that is delicious. I think that the leftover fig or dates that I have aren't going to stand a chance. I think I'm gonna finish off that bag. Yeah, I love dates. Time harvest has got to remove their seeds. ASMR, comfy. This is I basically eat dates with cashew nuts. Oh yeah, we talked about the cashew nuts. That is my favorite type of nut is cashew. I love hazelnuts too. Don't get me wrong. I love me some hazelnuts. I like Brazilian nuts, but yeah, cashews is my favorite. This is going to be so good because they're going to melt up into this bread. All right, just making sure they're itty birdie pieces. Okay, let's do this 2 at a time. Oh, double stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay. So don't worry, this is not going to be an entire like baking live chat. I will be pulling some cards at some point while our bread is baking because that's going to take some time. So I figured I'll get this done first. That way we have fresh bread by the end of the live chat because how cool would that be? Okay, almost ready. Last 2 dates. Had a friend of mine in college. Gosh, where was he from? His name was Osama. He was from, I think he was from Afghanistan. But he was always eating dates. And so he had this joke that was kind of overused because he used it all the time. But he'd come up to the girls and he'd hand them a date and he's like, care for a date? He's like, how about 8 o'clock on Friday? Okay. All right, a little bit more. Time harvest is I tried figs first time last month. I didn't like it like dates. Figs are a bit acidic. Nothing gets close to cashew. What if you add some cashew to that bread? Man, if I had cashews on me and we had cashew in this bread, heck yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our figs. Yay! Let's bring back our little food measure and let's open up these hazelnuts because we want to put in 3.5 ounces of hazelnut. Okay, that's about 2.5 ounces, just like the bag says. All right, let's open up our other fancy schmancy bag of hazelnuts. Oh, they smell so good. All right, okay. And then there's some left over. I'm going to sprinkle that on the top. All right, so there we go, hazelnuts. You can see this is going to be a very nutty bread. And then we're going to need 10 ounces of buttermilk, and that'll do it. Yes, that will do it. Okay. Okay. So there's 32 ounces in here. We don't want to put all of that. So I have my measuring cup. It does have ounces. There we go. 10 ounces is about right in there. Dun, dun, dun. Of course, I could get more accurate and just pour it straight into my, you know what? It's already dirty. Let's just use the food scale. Okay, that's 8 ounces. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nice shooting, Tex. Okay, 10 ounces. All right. 10 ounces of buttermilk. Smells like sour milk. All right. So we're going to mix this up with our hands. Like I said, it's going to be a really sticky, uh, nasty endeavor. So let's go ahead and put these in the sink. Let those things soak. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Let's do this. I'm gonna have my pan here, ready to go. Ooh, it's gross, but awesome. Yes, it is sticky, my friends. Riley's like nuts and bread, yummy. Time Harvest said Afghani bro was a rizzler. Says there we go, hazelnuts on it. Oh man, whoever's in that house today is lucky. Oh, Riley said that Laura's here. Oh, hey, hey. Time Harvest said, let's do it. All right. It's almost all mixed up, you guys. I'm getting the last of the flour in it. Oh man. Oh, it smells good. It smells so good. I'm not gonna lie, it smells really good. Okay, just kind of getting the last of that flour there. Okay. It is a tad on the sticky side, but not as sticky as one might expect. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this little like dough balls off my hands. Good thing we have a couple of other people in this house, so I don't end up eating a whole loaf of bread. Okay, but it's gonna look just like that. That's fig and hazelnut goodness. Oh my goodness. That's freaking good. It is a little sticky. Okay. Now, I'm going to get it into this thing and try to like smooth out the top a little bit. Hold on. Let me move this bowl. Y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, it may not rise too much because, like I said, there's no yeast in here. Okay. Ta-da! All right, so let's sprinkle some goodies on top. I'm going to actually wash my hands now. The urge to like eat the bread dough is strong, but I won't. I will not do that on camera. Oh wait, I'm off camera. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I will not eat the dough. I'm just getting it out from under my nails now. See, this is why I said you guys have to make sure you wash your hands before this, because your hands are going to be all up in it. Okay. Just drying off my hands now. All right. I'm going to use some of these old-fashioned oats. Or at least as I used to eat Play-Doh. So did I. I ate dirt though. Okay, so I have a few oats on top. Make it look pretty. And then I want to put a few of those leftover hazelnuts. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was trying to get them in my hand. Okay. And then I want to use a little bit of the steel cut oats. There we go. I mean, we have almonds. What if I could put almonds? No, that's just too nutty. That's just way too nutty. I don't want to make it like so nutty I can't eat my bread. But anyway, could put almonds. We do have it. Okay, so I'm just putting these away for a second. Phenomena. Okay, are you ready? Let's take this baby. We're gonna take this over to the oven. Yay! Okay, here we go. Okay, that's gonna go center of the rack, just like that. Let's see if I remember how to do this timer. We want 50 minutes. And we'll start that. Okay. All right. Well, 50 minutes. Cool. All right. Let me just put some of these goodies away. And then let's make a little Xocolatl drink. Because like I said, it was kind of tied, I will say. It was like by one vote that there would have been a tie between the Mayan ceremonial Xocolatl drink and sweet Lammas bread because of all the votes from Patreon and YouTube members. So it really does pay to be a part of that, especially if you're like you're aching to see things during the Sunday live chat. So, all right. I'm going to put this into the sink as well. So that could, you know, get all soaky and stuff. Soak it up. Oh, yeah. Okay. And now I'm just going to put a few things away into our pantry. So I have space to make our Xocolatl drink. Some of you might even be wondering, like, what are you even talking about, Xocolatl? I will tell you in just a moment. All right. So here's some. Okay, gonna put our spelt flour away. Da-da-da. Oh, and our other flour. Ah. Okay. Good, good. Good. I did do the timer correct. I see the time going down, so that's good. As long as I didn't set it for 50 hours, that would be sucky. Okay. So we are going to head over to the stove to work on that Xocolatl drink. Okay, let me just quick toss this. Oop. Okay. Yay! All right, so those of you who are just joining us. So we are in the kitchen, obviously, today because of the votes that you guys had on the Thursday poll, both from my patrons, my YouTube members, and you, my subscribers. And you voted on sweet lammas bread. And on the 1st of August, we celebrated the kickoff to Lughnassadh, also known as Lammas, just kind of depending on which tradition you are focusing on. But it basically represents the first harvest. And so there is a bread right now in the oven being baked to represent the abundance of that first harvest. But you guys also voted on a Mayan Xocolatl drink. And what that is, it's a ceremonial drink that was created by the Maya. I believe the Toltecs and the Olmecs, the Aztecs, they all had like a variation of it. But basically, the main ingredient, cacao beans, and that was used as a form of currency with the Maya, and actually up into Aztec times, I believe, because of the state that it put people in. People felt like it was, if you've ever had like straight chocolate, like not with sugar or anything, you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your body. It almost feels like you're being elevated to a spiritual place. So they were really revered, these cacao beans. And so they were used in special ceremonies and things like that. And so I figured that since right now is a time of celebration and something very special, it's also a wonderful time to go inwards and connect to, sorry, that was the microphone, connect to our heart chakra. And for me, that is what chocolate is about. Of course, I don't, every time I sit down and eat chocolate, I'm not like sitting in special ceremony. Sometimes I just want a piece of chocolate. But in this drink that I'm going to be showing you guys, it's very special. So, and I'm making it as close to how our ancestors would have originally made it. So don't expect this to be very sweet. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be used ceremonially. So if you want to use it in ritual, you want to use it, in thanking the god and the goddess and thanking for the bounty all around you, you can go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and head over here to the other part of the kitchen, my friends. And you see that I have a bunch of goodies all set up here. I just want to take a look at the chat real quick. Time Harvest is, at least you didn't live off a Pop-Tart diet like my American friend Beta provider. Well, for a while I was living off of Eggo waffles. Like that's all I ate. It's the breakfast and lunch and dinner of champions of 24-year-olds. Time Harvest says that's a nice house. Mine looks like a cave. My on the property, it kind of does look like a cave. Here, yes, it is a very nice house. All right, you're gonna need a pan. And figuring out how much water you want to put in here, it kind of depends on how big your mug is. I think I'm gonna put like 8 ounces of water, maybe 10 ounces. I think I'll do that. Maybe I'll just make 2 cups and call it a day. All right, so let's do 2 cups of water. And with this, a lot of it's eyeballing. So I actually put the recipe for Xocolatl in the description box of this live chat. So if you're interested in making some of it yourself, then hey, the recipe is there. All right, so I'm just double checking. Okay, so it's about 16 ounces of water, 2 cups. Pouring that in like so. And the rest is going to go by feel, kind of how I feel about it. All right, so I'm going to turn this on, but I'm only going to turn it on up to 2. So it's a very low heat. I don't really want to burn anything right now. Maybe I'll turn it up to 3. Okay, so first and foremost, you're going to need some cacao powder. So I have organic cacao powder. Let me move my mug off to the side. I'm just going to put like a couple of scoops and see how I feel about it. Okay, there's scoop number 1. Scoop number 2. Like I said, if I feel otherwise and I want to add more, I will add more. All right, next, you're going to need some cornmeal. This is stone ground blue cornmeal. The Maya would have used a variety of colored corn. And the corn was also very special to them because it represented the people of the world, that we all come in various colors, but we are all made of the same stuff, no matter what we look like. All right, so I put about a tablespoon and a half of that cornmeal. Again, it's kind of just how I feel about it. I'm also going to put in a vanilla bean. I'm going to put in a whole vanilla bean. I am going to chop this in half, though, to release some of that vanilla beanness. All right, so vanilla bean. All right, I also would like to add some chili powder. If you have an actual chili pepper, I would say put that chili pepper right up in there. I'm just going to put like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Not very much. I don't want to burn my socks off. Not today, not today. You're going to put in a little bit of honey or brown sugar, your choice. I prefer to use honey to taste. And then here's something, I guess for me, I just want to like up the creaminess factor. I have 80% or 85% dark chocolate. This is really, really good. Madagascan, it has Madagascan vanilla in it. And I believe this dark chocolate comes from, I think it's Colombia. But it's really good. It's really dark. I love dark chocolate. And there's barely any sugar in here because, again, I kind of want to keep the sugar out. So I'm going to actually break up a few pieces and put that in here. Boop. Maybe one more little piece. Maybe this little corner piece. How about that? Okay. All right, I'm going to put my chocolate back in the fridge. And I'm going to add a little bit of this honey. For me, I like a lot of honey. So I'm probably going to put in like what will end up being like a tablespoon of honey in 16-ounce drink. There we go. Yummy. Okay. I'm going to mix this up a little bit with my spoon first, and then I'm going to use my little whisk. All right. Bring my mug over here. There we go. All right, let's do a little mixy mix. Let's see, I could probably bring you guys in closer. Whoa, welcome. Welcome to my stove. Okay. So a little mixy. So with the cornmeal in there, it's going to make it pretty thick. It's going to be kind of a thickish drink. But like I said, it's not one where like, hey, everybody's just sitting down having some hot chocolate. This is a very special version of that quote unquote hot chocolate, also known as Xocolatl. It's pretty easy to recreate. It might be a little bitter for some people. That's part of it, is like not getting too distracted by all of the flavoring, all the other flavorings, and you're going into the spirit of the cacao bean. And the spirit of the cacao bean works kind of like, I guess, the way people will say ayahuasca works, going into the heart space and really like opening you up to your higher self and, asking to be shown areas that need working on, extra love, maybe answers to certain questions. It's kind of what would happen while you're having this drink. So, okay, I'm gonna have a little taste with my spoon and see kind of how we are, like if I have to add more cacao or what. Um, Hold on. I need more chili powder. That's what I need. There is not enough chili powder in here. Okay. Maybe a little bit more honey. And I think I will put another spoonful of cacao, actually. I want this dark to the box. Okay. Mixy, mixy. Takes a little while for cacao to mix up into whatever liquid you have because it's so bitter. Okay, now I'm going to give it another little taste and see how we are. Yes, yes. Okay, I might put in a little bit more cornmeal now too, because yes. Man, this is good. Like already, all I had was a few sips, and like already my heart chakra's like, oh, are we doing this now? Are we going in? I'm like, whoa, 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 we're not meditating yet. Maybe towards the end of the live chat. Not right now, my cardiovascular friend. Okay, have a little. Yes, yes. Okay, we have done it. Okay, so for those of you that are sticklers for measurements, there is 16 ounces of water in here. Of course, some of that will boil down a little bit, but it's not. We don't really want to get it to a boil, but it will go down. That's what I'm just saying. There's about 3 heaving tablespoons of cacao powder in here. About 2.5 big tablespoons, like overly done tablespoons of blue cornmeal. And there's about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of honey in here. So it's a lot of honey, but you could barely even taste it because the cacao is so strong. I would say that there's about 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder in here, and I have 1 whole vanilla bean. Okay, so we'll continue giving that a little stir. By the way, I also put in a few pieces of 85% dark chocolate, so it's really dark. But that kind of adds to the creaminess, I think. All right. I want that to like get hot for a while because there is a vanilla bean in there, and I want to use the vanilla bean to kind of help add a like a creaminess to it, and also special because vanilla bean is expensive. It's a special additive. Okay, I am going to put these powders away. So excuse me while I pack up my powder. Okay, I'm just going to throw those into the pantry. All right. put our honey away. Bye-bye, honey bear. Also, let me know if anybody's following along with us. If you guys decided to bake a little something, something. All right. Where did my chili powder go? Oh, it went right here. That's right. I'll put the little. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Paprika, cayenne, lots of chilies. All right, and let me put my vanilla bean away like so. Perfecto. Ooh, getting nice. All right, I think while that does its thing, let's go ahead and get ready to pull some cards. So let me just get myself situated here. And we'll pull some cards for the weekly reading. How about it? Okay, so let me have a little taste before I turn my back on it. That's dark, and you can see the cornmeal is kind of thickening it up a little bit. Wow. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to turn that down to 1 because I don't want to get it too hot. I just want to kind of like, what you call it? I want the vanilla bean to be able to steep. Okay, so head back over here with me and let's go ahead and pull some cards while we wait for our like goodies to bake, to turn into a nice drink for us. So if you guys are accessing your intuition via cards or runes or whatever you have, then let me know what it is that you're working with. If you're just channeling that information straight down from source, utilizing your higher self, just channeling those messages, let me know if you're doing that too. Okay, so I am just going to clean up my workspace just a little bit because I'm going to put my cards here. And otherwise, my cards will be full of flour and bread bits. Not that I think that's a bad idea. I think it's just, I probably don't want to lick my cards, you know? Okay, we are good. Excellent. Okay. I'm just going to put that right there. Okie dokie, let's go back and look at this chat. Time Harvest asked if I am vegan. No, I was vegetarian though for about 3-4 years. And recently, like my body's just decided it wants to connect with spirit of animal again. So I am back to eating meat again. But I really just kind of go with how my higher self is leading me. And for a while it was like, let's do fruits and veggies for a while. I'm like, let's do it. Let's see, Time Harvest is, would the Mayans have put honey on the original chocolate? That is a good question because not always. Honey was something that actually the ancient Egyptians were known for their honey, and actually some of the honey that has been found in like the pyramids and some of the like tombs and stuff, it's still good. Like honey doesn't really go bad. You know, it's wonderful. So the Maya did have access to honey. Sometimes they would put it in it. I guess it just kind of depended on their ceremony. Oftentimes there wasn't any sugar of any kind because, well, they didn't have sugar cane. So the only real type of sweetness did come from honey or certain, you know, flowers and plants and things like that. But for here, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of honey in so that it's a little bit more palatable, at least for me, but you guys don't have to put the honey. That's totally optional. Riley says they would have if Tara was there. True. Time Harvest says She was kind of there though. I mean, for real. That's like, we were all kind of there. Okay. Ooh, that bread is smelling good. Holy schmoly. Maybe I need to have a little check on it before we sling these weekly cards. Okay. I have a knife to check it when the time comes, but let's move this towel aside. Let's turn on the oven light. Oh, it looks so good. Hold on. I just need a whiff. I just need a little whiff. Oh, it might almost be done. Holy cow. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it out. I'm going to do a little knife check and see how much further we have to go, because I think that this is a convection oven and it cooks things or bakes things a lot faster. So let's have a look-see here. Holy cow, I think we're done. Yeah, we are. Wow. Then only needed here in this household, let's see, 25, 35, 45, 15. That was like 20 minutes. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to give that 2 more minutes and then it's bread time, you guys. Holy cow. I didn't expect it to go that fast. That's awesome. Okay. Yay. I'm super excited about that. I'm really excited. Okay. So we will pull some cards, but there are some things that you might want to have with your lammas bread. You could have creamy butter, sweet creamy butter. You could have apples, which are also in season at this time. And you could have cheese, because a lot of people would have been milking the cows and milking the goats and getting all that milk and turning it into cheese. And so having that with your basically harvest loaf. So if you have an apple on hand, you have some cheese on hand, or you just have some butter and bread, even if you didn't make it yourself, then have a little lammas feast with us. Okay, so let me put this away so I can get our wire rack, and I'm going to have it cool on the wire rack. It's like I was smelling the bread and I was like, really? I was like, it smells good already. Like it's done. And like, for sure, it's done. Okay, so let's get a wire rack. All right, let's put this down here, you guys. All right. I'm going to get my oven mitt. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Everything is off. Okie dokie. Check that out. And it cooked so fast. Ooh, and you could see the edges like crusted a little bit because of all that butter that we put into the pan. This is awesome. Okay, so you want to let this cool down for about 5 minutes in the pan before turning it out onto the wire rack. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to get a little plate and a little chopping thingamajiggy, cutting board. And we're going to bust out an apple. And some cheese and some sweet cream. Okay, this is so awesome. I'm so excited. I wish you guys could smell my kitchen right now. Okay. Apple. Hello, apple. I picked up some Fiji apples. I like galas and I like Fiji. Okay, because it's a special celebration, I don't normally get these things, but since it's special for Lammas, I decided to get special cheese. This is called Purple Moon Cheddar. It's a smooth, complex, and fruity, a handcrafted farmhouse cheese soaked in red wine made on our sustainable farm. I thought, Hey, that sounds good. um, let's see. Time Harvest says, I also was vegan for 4 months. I ended looking like a crackhead. I had to go back to meat. That's funny. And then I have my Fiji apple. And then I have this sweet cream unsalted butter. So let's bust out one of those bars. I'm so excited for this. And by the time this is probably cooled off, this butter will be nice and soft. So that's cool. All right. Let me get a little fancy plate. Okay, so first thing, let's go ahead and cut this apple. I have a special little apple cutter because I'm lazy. Okay. All right. Ta-da! All chopped up. So I'm going to put this apple onto this plate. Maybe I'll try to do it in like a flower format. Make it pretty. There we go. Kind of looks like a flower. All right. And then this apple core is going to go into my little food scraps bin, which I donate those to the forest. Okay, so that's going to go there. And now let's open up our cheese, please. Okay, here is our cheese. I'm going to put that there. I'll put it in a little Ziploc afterwards. Okay, we're going to do some, how do I want to do this? Like little slices. Ooh, that looks cool. Anyway, do some long slices of cheese. I'm just going to put that in with our apples. Okay, it's going in with the apple. Just like so. So you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. So I'm making like a little, actually it looks like a little wheel. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, I'll put that off to the side. We're gonna need a little butter. But like I said, I'm gonna let this warm up just a little bit. So let's see. Maybe I'll put that in a little dish in the middle. Yes. Let's do that. Okay, so this cute little dish that is my boyfriend's sister's dish. She's got these little little dishes. And we'll just start chopping off little pats of butter. Okay, that should be enough for now. If people want more, they can get it out of the fridge. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in the fridge. Oops, wrong one. That goes here. Sweet cream. Okay. Yay! Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, I'm gonna put my cheese away. and put this away. Okay, you guys, come and check out this. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It smells so good. And I believe our Xocolatl drink is now ready. Okay, let's see if I could let this cool down a little bit more actually before I turn it out. All right, we can wait. All right, so I'll put that there. But oh my gosh, this looks so good. I feel like I could just like eat this whole thing, but I shouldn't. I'll just, yeah, I'll just blow up like a tick. Time Harvest is first taste the bread without the cheese. Definitely. That's the thing. You know, if you're tasting something for the very first time, I say try it as is before you add all the extra accoutrement, you know? So we're going to taste the bread as is. And hopefully it's good. And then we'll add it with our apple and our cheese. Maybe we'll add some butter. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking Lammas Lughnassadh right now. I feel it in my bones. Time Harvest says your boyfriend is eating good today. Lucky man. Bro's eating like a Greek king. Dude, we're all gonna eat like kings today. Dude, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm coming back over to my Xocolatl. I'm giving it a little mix. I'm gonna give it a one last taste, and then it might be ready to go. Oh, heck yeah, that's ready to go. Okay. All right, so now you guys are going to come over here with me. Oh, hello, hello. We are going to look down into the sink, not at the dirty dishes, but into the sink, because we are going to pour our Xocolatl into the mug, and if I spill, I want it to go down into the sink. All right, so we have our Xocolatl drink. Hello. I have my little mug that I got here in Pine Top. Life is better at the campsite. All right, I'm gonna give this a little swirl. Swirl, baby, swirl. All right, there's still a little left over. That's cool. I'm gonna put that back on the stove. All right, here we go. We have our Xocolatl drink. We have our Lammas bread. All right, so that's gonna go right here. Yay! Oh my goodness, it came out well. I mean, we still have to do a taste test, but you know. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull some cards. And by the time we pull our weekly cards, we should be ready to turn that bread out onto the wire rack. Okay, so as far as cards go, I have my Magical Hours Tarot with me. Quickly is becoming a favorite. My Native Spirit Oracle, which I had this long time ago. And I ended up giving the deck away. I don't know why I did that. I mean, it was to a good friend of mine and she really wanted an Oracle deck. And I was like, okay, well, you can have this one. But I've been like really wanting this back for years. And I didn't have the heart to ask my friend for the deck that I gifted her back. So I just went and got it again. So I have it back. I'm happy. I really did miss this deck. Also, the Sacred Medicine Oracle. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some cards, you guys. All right. Boop. Yay. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull a card for, actually, since it's Lughnassadh, let's pull like a, just like we would, like an overarching like theme card for like the week. But this being like the first actual week of Lughnassadh, let's go ahead and pull a card for it. And then I want to pull 3 cards afterwards. I want to put like what to release at this time, what abundance is coming into our lives, and what gratitude to focus on. I think those 3 would be really good. So if you guys want to pull some cards with us, or you want to just, you know, bring down and channel those messages straight from source, you can go ahead and do that too. But I'm going to go ahead and pull a theme card with my Native Spirit Oracle because I love this deck. Time Harvest says, wait. Says, once you do the review tasting, do some eating while reading the cards. That would be cool. It would be. And we will still do our super chats and super stickers, and I'll probably be eating while we're doing super chats and super stickers. I just, it's too soon to pull the bread out of the pan and put it onto the wire rack. So give it a couple more minutes and then, you know, it'll be good to go. And then we can muncha muncha. Okay. So let's see, let's go ahead and pull an overarching theme card. Okay. And then maybe I'll use my Sacred Medicine Oracle for those 3 cards. Okay. And it's the back of that deck. And the cards are so colorful and beautiful. Okay, so let's shuffle these up. Okay, so what do we need to release at this time of Lammas / Lughnassadh / first harvest / first week of August? Okay. Primera semana de agosto. Okay. So what do we need to release? What abundance is coming into our lives as a collective? And what gratitude could we focus on? What could we be grateful for at this time? Time Harvest says, wait, you spoke Portuguese. Oh, I did? Well, it sounds very close to Spanish then. Okay. Overarching theme. Let's see what we got. I put them all face down. I mean, you guys can check out what I'm doing right here. Like, they're all face down. Okay. We have Spirit Keeper of the East. So not only is this like, oh wow, it's like the beginning of the month, like, you know, somebody, but no, for a lot of people in the collective, I don't want to say for each and every individual person, it's going to be at different times, you know, we're all on our individual missions. But for a lot of us, we're starting a brand new chapter this week, not just because it's the beginning of the month, not because of any sort of harvest celebration, but for a lot of people right now, all over the globe and perhaps all across the galaxy and all the different dimensions, starting a new chapter. So it could be starting a new chapter in the essence that we're, you know, rethinking a belief system that we have, or perhaps it's, you know, leaving a job, you know, that we've done for a long time, and we're kind of like in the unknown, we're going into the abyss, right? For some of us, it could be speaking our truth for the very first time and seeing, you know, going into kind of a new timeline by, you know, embracing this chakra that maybe we haven't given a whole lot of attention to before, our throat chakra. So I do feel like there's this kind of newness, like new timelines, new chapters, new revelations, new beliefs, new perspectives, new understanding. And I think it was something similarly said last week and the week before. But it feels like to this degree, it's coming in a lot more intense. The intensity I feel right now is right up my spinal cord. So I know that this is like a big collective thing at the moment. Let's see, Time Harvest says, I love saying, wait, there's a good song that says, wait, you don't love you like I love you. Wait, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maps. Okay. Okay. Cool. I've been having some songs stuck in my head, especially this morning. Um, there are so many songs in there. Okay. First, I think our Xocolatl drink is cooled off a bit. That's intense. I taste a little bit of the cornmeal, a lot of the cacao. I can tell that somewhere in the recesses of the drink, there's vanilla. Um, Kind of on the back of the throat, you get like the tiniest bit of like chili pepper. But for the most part, it's cacao. It's rich. It's dark. It went straight for my heart chakra. That's exactly what I wanted. I think it's really going to be helpful in doing our reading right now. Mm. Mm. That's good stuff. Mm. Heck yeah. Okay. Let's look into what we can release at this time. Ooh, I was just touching my heart chakra. Oh my gosh, just like this lady. Sacred medicine calling. So this is a time now where we might want to release some older versions of ourselves. Not to say we want to forget who we were or forget, some of the things that we accomplished or some of the things that we consider mistakes. We don't want to forget any of that. But we also don't want to bring our past into our present. So this is, looking into all the things that we were called to and drawn to in the past and kind of just seeing where it led us, almost like the roots of a tree, just like, oh, wow. Then when I was called to do this, this led to these opportunities. I met these people, which led into this, which led into this. And so this is a time really going into that heart chakra and seeing that every time we followed our heart, it's just opened up a whole new world for us. And so perhaps, where you were called, let's say, first I was really called to go to college, and then I was really called to, I don't know, move out into the desert, or then I was really called to go with my friends to this music festival. I was really called to do this, not what our mind wants, but this is always, coming from the heart, whenever we've been on that heart-based journey. And so if there was something that led you to where you are now, but you're kind of feeling that where you are now doesn't quite resonate anymore. It kind of feels like I've kind of grown out of this pair of shoes, like this shirt's a little too tight now. I think, I feel like I'm expanding, I'm growing, my consciousness is growing, and I feel like going this way. It's okay to have your path change, because that is the path. It's full of changes. That's part of being a human being. If we're meant to remain stagnant, well, then we wouldn't come here at all, because nothing here remains stagnant. The trees don't remain stagnant. The rocks certainly don't remain stagnant. They shift and morph and change and turn back to dirt and back to rock again. So this whole world that we're in is in a constant cycle of change. And so if you're feeling like it is time for a change in whatever capacity that is, then go with it. Go with what your heart is leading you towards, but also honor, just like we did with the bread and the cheese and the butter and the Xocolatl drink, honoring all those different aspects. That basically there was a bunch of different ingredients, basically the different cool adventures you have in your lives, that had to come together to create that bread, that had to create to where you are right now. So basically, you're the bread, you're the apple, you're the cheese, you're the butter, you're the chocolate drink, So it's okay to honor and release some of those older versions of ourselves. All right. Let's see. Time Harvest says that's her name. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Song name. Oh, the yeah, yeah, yes. Duh. Yeah, I have heard of them before. Very cool. Okay. So what abundance is surrounding us right now? Whew, back to that heart chakra touch. It says medicine rights, accomplishment. And so, like I said, it feels like this really is the reaping of the harvest. Maybe we're not all farmers or gardeners, so we're not like literally reaping a harvest, but there are some things that we're reaping right now. If, let's say, I decided to have a whole new career path, or I'm going to go on some spiritual journey to like Ojai or something like that, I am embracing all that led me there. And I'm also showing gratitude for all the things that had to come together, for me to go, into that. So there's this abundance of all future, past, and all timeline versions of yourself, which there are infinite versions surrounding you right now in that abundance. You're really like reaping those past versions of yourself, reaping those past decisions, whether you decided they were positive or negative is totally your perspective, but we're reaping all of that now and saying, okay, I have this like bushel of like all the past me's, my past decisions and all this. What do I want to do with it? What do I want to create now? Okay, so what is something that we could be grateful for at this time? And here we have the spring equinox with the eagle, and it says flight. I love it. Beautiful. So something to be grateful for right now is that basically the wind is at your back. You're being pushed into, whatever choice that you make. So if you decide, I'm just not ready, to leave my job right now, then the wind is going to push you into continuing on and whatever lessons that you need to learn at that current job before you move on to something else. If you decide, you know what, I am going to go take a journey across the United States, in my VW van, and I'm going to see how that goes. Then, spirit, all versions of you, everything, the wind is at your back. It's going to push you and aid you again with all the lessons and all the learning that's going to come with that adventure that you embark on. So whatever your decision is, there are no bad decisions. There's only lessons to be learned. And so, we could say, oh man, I wish I didn't do this, wish I didn't do that. But we learn so much from the I wish I didn't and the times we think we made, mistakes or totally royally like flubbed up on something. We learn from those things, we grow, and we become more evolved human beings because of it. So this is all about the wind is beneath your wings and at your back. Okay, I think this bread is ready to be turned out. Okay, I'm gonna put it onto my hand. Some of the seeds are gonna fall off the top. That is okay. Okay, I'm gonna put the grate just like this. I'm gonna go over to the sink and I'm gonna turn it out. All right, it came out. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Check it out. Yes, homies. Man, I wish I could take a picture right now. It looks so good. Okay, sorry, let me just push this down the sink. I think it's time to have a taste. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. All right, while I get this ready, if you guys would like to do some super chats and super stickers, I mean, now's the time. I mean, we got some special bread here. We got some special heart-based Xocolatl drink. So I'm just putting my cards up here because I want, kind of want to infuse the message into the bread, just like so. Okay, so let me go get a little plate. And let's have some bread. All right, I just saw the bread cutter. There it is. Okay, my little. All right, here we go. First cut. Ooh, it's so moist. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bite first before I add the butter and cheese because I want to see what it tastes like without all that stuff. Hold on, I'm gonna cut this in half. And my boyfriend gets a taste too. It's still warm and fresh. Hold on. I'm gonna have a little taste.
That is good.
That was good bread. Wow. Okay. Now I'm gonna try to add a little bit of butter.
Yeah.
I'll see what that tastes like. Mm.
Oh, it's so good.
That's the sweet cream butter. Okay, I'm gonna leave my knife there. Where'd my little other knife go? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bite with the butter. Excuse me. Let's see. Time Harvest says, embrace the changes. Is that necklace stone real stone? Oh, yes. This one actually is hemimorphite. It's my favorite type of stone in the whole world. I love turquoise. I love all that stuff, but hemimorphite, and this comes from the I forget which province in China, but it has that beautiful natural blue color. Roger says, Roger Over says, hi everyone, hello. Did the cooking already happen? It did, but check out the spread. So if you look at the chat earlier, you'll be able to see kind of how we made it. It's actually pretty simple. So if you want to cook something like this in your kitchen today, I'd say it's totally doable. Time Harvest is yummy. Costolini says beauty. Roger says bread looks tasty. Nut spread. Yes, there is what you call it, dates in here. There's hazelnuts, and sprinkled across the top I have oats and more hazelnuts and some of the steel cut oats. Time Harvest says taste review. And he wants to know if Riley likes it. Yes, he does. He's back.
I don't know if I like it or not. I need some more to make sure.
Oh, okay. Do you want a slice of cheese and an apple?
I just want some butter.
Okay, just butter.
It's so good.
Okay, let's get you a pat of butter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Becky wants some too.
Okay. The sweet cream butter is really good. Okay. Excellent. Time Harvest says, tell him to tell us, speak brother. Roger asked if there's any channeling today. We will when we do our super chats and super stickers and our guided meditation at the end. And Time Harvest says, do you program the stone before wearing it? Huge spiritual benefits. I do. I have a little chat with the stone and see how we could work together. I try not to program it like telling it what to do, but more like, how can we help each other out? Time Harvest says, wait, Riley is her boyfriend? Yes. Time Harvest says, Riley, bro. Roger Over says, I've got no money right now. I just like watching her channeling them. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, we'll do our channel guided meditation, which is for everybody. And oftentimes I feel like that when we do super chats and super stickers, people's questions are helpful for all of us, not just the person that's asking. Okay. My gosh, that's so good. I'm talking with my mouth full. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have some Xocolatl. Okay, I'm gonna pour the rest of my chocolate drink in here because we had a little bit left on the stove. All right, let's let that soak with some hot water as well. Okay, woo, baby. Riley says so good. I agree. I'm gonna toot my own horn for a second here. All right, let me have a little slice of apple and a slice of cheese. I haven't tasted this kind of cheese before. I hope it's good. Wow. That's like a really fruity cheese. I feel like I'm doing a mukbang right now. mm. So good. Okay. So yeah. If you guys would like to do super chats and super stickers, that would be right now while I eat. If not, let's go right into a guided meditation, you know? Yeah, I guess this could be ASMR. First, I take the apple and the cheese and I eat them. I don't think I'm that good at ASMR. mm. Mm. Time Harvest is Riley. You got to take some more of that bread. He did. He came back for seconds already. Time Harvest says, I would eat it all in one sitting. I bet I would. I mean, I'm trying not to. And Roger said ASMR. It's like, you ever see those videos where people are just like whispering into the camera, making like noises? Well, guess who's ready for third? More butter or cheese this time?
Butter.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Mm. Roger says a spiritual mukbang. I know, right? That's right, homies. We're doing spiritual mukbang today. Making llamas bread and sacred ceremonial Xocolatl and stuffing our faces while we pull down some messages. Oh my goodness. It's so freaking good. Mm. That is so good. Costellini. Thank you. Costellini says, can we ask about which aliens we're getting first? Bashar mentioned it would be the Pleiadians within 3 years. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I kind of feel like a lot of us have alien souls. Not like we don't belong here, but more like we are everything. So like we're bits and pieces of all these different ET races. And so in essence, we're kind of already here. I mean, we're incarnated right now, but we're kind of already here. But I'm pretty sure you're asking about like when I guess the whole collective would be like, oh my gosh, we got aliens. So yeah, we can definitely take a look into that. Costellini says there was some news story about spacecrafts en route to Earth last week. So I was curious if we could see what happened, what's about to happen. Okay. And then Time Harvest is saying that Costellini has some good questions. It says, I don't know if they will allow the aliens to show themselves at all. It feels so unbelievable, to be honest. Well, like I said, I feel like the aliens are already here because we're incarnated and a lot of us are aliens. So, you know, some people have been privy to like physically seeing, you know, extraterrestrials and their crafts or feeling like they've been aboard ships and things like that through either the astral or physically. But yes, again, more like the collective, like, hey, aliens, how about it? Hashtag, oh my. So yeah, let's take a look into that. That is a great question, by the way. And Time Harvest says, I don't know why there's none here yet. It's just humans. Well, like I said, we all wear different human suits, but man, are we so many beautiful different souls from different parts of dimensions and galaxies. We're all over the place. Okay. Little piece of cheese. Let's pull that card for Costellini. It's actually a tap in, too. Mm-mm-mm. It's so good. um, Roger says, I'm an alien. I walk around. No one notices me. Dude, I'm alien for sure. Who knows where I came from? Who knows where they grew me? Time Harvest says, Roger, do you wear a human suit? Costaline says, that one's definitely for the group, but I thought it would be fun. And then Time Harvest seconding that, yeah, that is a great question. So thank you, Costalini. Let's do that. Let me take off my little apron. I guess I don't need to wear it anymore. Okay, just so I can stop hitting my little microphone. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap in. Okay, there was a song that was coming in. It's a Tool song, and it actually comes from the Undertow album. I've never been very good at knowing like names of songs. But basically the gist of the song, I'm trying to go through the lyrics in my head right now. There's a lot of swearing in it, and so I can't really say it on YouTube, but Tool is my favorite band. But basically it's talking about being by the riverside or by the river's edge, just minding your own business. And it says, and then here comes some beings or people coming in, and they're basically telling you what to do and things like that. But what I was getting was that perhaps like a collective fear, not to say this is everybody's fear, but a collective fear is that these off-planet beings, these non-terrestrials, are going to come in, and because they're different, because they're not from this planet, that somehow they must have some sort of like malicious intent. You know, they're going to come in, they're going to regulate us, they're going to tell us what to do because their technology is so great. But think about some of the like the way many of us have like awakened and we've evolved. Like we've done that sans technology. Really, a lot of it was going inwards. We go inwards to connect to our higher self, and we would say that that is something that is truly great. So is it that this outward thing that we're fearing with these, you know, aliens, these extraterrestrials? Is it that we fear their outward technology, their crafts, their this, their that, their fact they can probably do like quantum physics in their brain or whatever? Or is it the inward spiritual journey that we are afraid of? Are we afraid that they have evolved inward so much that we haven't caught up, or that, you know, we're just not in sync? So what is it about this like contact with aliens or extraterrestrials that we feel trepidation or fear, or that they'll oppress us in some way? And I'll get into it, the beings that I'm hearing, but the beings are saying, that's exactly what people on your very own planet do to you. They tell you what to do. They tell you what to think. They try to control you. They try to use technology to control you. So what is it that you're actually fearing from us? Are you fearing more of the same or something different? What is it? Okay, so let's actually tap in. Okay, so I've made quite a few channeling connections with the beings that are from the Andromeda quadrant. I don't I hate to call them Andromedans because there's a lot of different beings, just like, somebody called us earthlings. We all come from various different places. We're not all exactly the same. So, but I would say beings from Andromeda, and more specifically, the ones that I always see like full of diamonds. It's like they call it molting, and they look like brilliant, shining as they molt, basically evolving into something new. And they said, although many channelers are correct in the timeline that they're tapping into about, in the next like 2-3 years, these Pleiadians coming in, and, people being able to see with their own ojos, their own eyes, being able to see them in the sky, and, and all of this. That feels very, very true, because it is of one of many timelines, but we're all continually jumping timelines. And the Andromedans said, the beings from Andromeda, sorry, that they've already made contact with a lot of people. They may not be able to see any sort of craft or like see them with their own eyeballs, but they felt them in dreams. They feel like they've been places and then they've come back, much different from a gray experience where they feel like they've been probed or worked on, or less traumatic, more. They said people might say like they felt like they had a near-death experience, but they didn't. They were more just connecting to our frequency, our dimension. And this is not like to say that everybody who's had a near-death experiences has met the Andromedans. They're just saying there's a few people who have had what they couldn't quite figure out what it is that occurred. So they just say maybe it was near-death experience, although nothing physically happened to them, but it feels quite like that. They said kind of like going into what some might say the Summerlands or heaven, they said kind of what our dimension feels like, even though we're somewhat in the 4th, 5th, and 3rd dimension all at the same time. And they said that as it really depends on the collective consciousness. If the collective decides subconsciously all at once, yes, we're ready to see more. We want to see another layer of our reality, basically. Not we're ready to see aliens, but we're ready to see another layer. Extraterrestrials are a part of that other layer, the 4th density. And they said then collectively, that's what we would see going within like the next 2 years. Within the next 3, 4 years, kind of what we were saying with our friend Bashar, he, with the Pleiadians, they're coming in at a time where it wouldn't be scary to everybody. It's like already accepted that like a lot of things have already happened, and it's like, oh, cool, Pleiadians, hi, how are you doing? And less like, oh my gosh, we're being invaded. It's like the movie Independence Day. It's not like that. But again, that's just a few timelines that we're headed towards. Not to say that's like exactly how it's going to be. I mean, it could be that way. So it feels like it's more contact with the Andromedans first. Kind of feeling like that heaven experience, I guess. And then as we decide collectively we're ready for another layer, that's when we see Pleiadians. That's when we start seeing all the other stuff. Not just Pleiadians, spirits, more Sasquatch, all the things that we're like, is that real? Is it not real? It's 4D real. So we get opened up to that. Okay, so let's pull a card on that. Knight of Pentacles. Heck yeah, I totally get that as the vibes of like, what we were saying, within a couple of years, kind of that more Andromedan type experience. And then like 2, 3, 4 years out, kind of depending on the collective, where we're like, yeah, we're ready. Show us another layer of our world, 4D. Hello. So yeah, I am getting that. And I do believe that is Pleiadians that is the first. Interesting. And the beings that surround Orion. Pleiadians and Orion. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you, Costalini, for bringing in that question. That was, whew. Um, Time Harvest says, I don't know how I'm so Lyran when I'm short. I must have been a midget lion or, well, it's, we're all, how our soul is isn't necessarily represented in our human form. We kind of just chose whatever human suit. But our soul is massive, extends beyond this human suit. Roger Over says, interesting. Aliens can do quantum physics in their head. And now even more afraid. No, don't be. Time Harvest cracking up. Roger Over says, but will actually show up physically, basically in 3D form. Yes, yes. Costalini says, that's so funny, synchronistic that we would get Andromedans because their whole spiel is being about going through massive changes. And Time Harvest says, shoulders of Orion. So yeah, I really feel that. And I've been feeling more and more like Andromedan energy as like these past several years go on. And then, yeah, it feels like we kind of make a choice as a collective, like, okay, we're kind of in this molting phase. We kind of been in the astral with the Andromedans, whether we recognize them as Andromedan or not. I'm ready for the next layer. And it's like, boom, like somebody just like dropped the curtain. Hey, it's like, wiping our eyes. Oh my gosh, is that what? So yeah, but I'm feeling like that Orion Pleiadian energy. All right. And then Time Harvest. Thank you so much. So Time Harvest, do you have a specific question or do you want to tap in generally? So Roger Over said in 3 years. Well, is quite a few timelines. So instead of saying like specifically 3 years, which would only be like a few timelines, I like to skew it between 2 to 4 years, which involves a lot more timelines, I feel. So like 2 to 4 years, but yeah, 3 if we're going to go with the median. um, Roger Over says, I am ready. Dude, I'm ready too. I've been ready since I was a Trekkie. This is still so very good. Okay, so yeah, Time Harvest, let me know what your question is, or we could tap in generally. We can tap into some Lyran energy if you want. This is good. I might do another little mix. There we go. Sorry, some of the cornmeal was falling to the bottom. I wanted it all kind of mixed in. Time Harvest says, yes, tap into that energy. Thanks. You're okay. Okay, let's do it. And Costalini says, at some point within the next 3.3 being the upper bound, from what I've heard. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's see, it would be 2026, 2027, 2028. I know a lot of people have been saying, stuff happening in 2030, but I've been feeling it's happening a lot faster. Like first it felt like, okay, it might be 2029, where a lot more stuff is uncovered, like the veil dropping, like we could see more energetically than we've been able to see before. And then I feel like it just keeps getting closer and closer because I think more and more people are becoming ready, consciousness level is just like ready. And so now, yeah, I would say like 2028, maybe even sooner at the rate that we're going. I mean, we keep moving up the timeline. For a while, it felt like we were pushing back our timeline because people were like, whoa, 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 I don't think we're ready. And now people are like, yeah, okay, bring it. Let's see. So Roger Over was saying 2030 most likely. I feel sooner than that. Okay, so let's tap in with our friend Time Harvest. Little energetic check-in, perhaps a little Lyran check-in. I'm hearing the song, Hello, is there anybody out there? I forget the name of that song, but um, yes, I like Pink Floyd. See what else I can hear or see. But yeah, Pink Floyd is playing in my brain right now. So Time Harvest. Your soul also has some has a good soundtrack going. Okay, this is interesting. So kind of what I was seeing, instead of seeing like Lyrans, like the extraterrestrial, I was seeing it more as like cats here on Earth, and it was showing like this cat um, who had lost its home. So they're showing it like on the streets, kind of dirty, disheveled. Normally cats always seem really clean, um, but there's so much distress going on in its life. It's not taking care of itself the way it should. And so it's afraid of the cars, it's afraid of the noises, it's afraid of the street lamps, it's afraid of the barking dogs, it's afraid of other cats. Um, until one day, that cat decides it has to cross the road. Because on the other side, it looks like there's grass, there's homes, people who seem friendly, might even be food and water over there. And on its side of the road, it seems like storm clouds and lightning and everything is scary. And I just see like the fangs of barking dogs. And at some point it decides it doesn't want to be scared anymore. It doesn't want to live this way anymore because it's already tried this way and it's not working out. To be scared of everything, to let yourself go because you're so focused on survival that can't take care of the self. And so at some point, this cat decides to cross the road through all the cars and everything, and it ends up making it to the other side. And it meets some really wonderful people, and at a certain point, starts to ask itself, why didn't I do this sooner? But it was like fear that kept me from crossing that road. So, in essence, obviously, this is all symbolic and metaphorical, but your higher self, your Lyran self, the aspect of you that is Lyran, is wanting you to kind of contemplate that story of like, yes, we could say it's the Lyrans who lost their home, but think about in your own life where you may have felt like you haven't taken good care of yourself because you've been so focused on like, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. And I have to continually do that because to take that leap to the other side, that leap of faith is just going to be way too scary. But it's saying when you eventually do, it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a card. And Time Harvest says, we are definitely ready. And Riley was saying that it was Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. Yes. Says it's just a little pinprick. Time Harvest says, that's what happened to me all the time. I ask myself, why didn't I do this before? Beautiful, says Roger over. Okay, so let's pull a card for Time Harvest. 10 of Cups, freaking confirmation. So whatever it is right now, whether it's something physical that you're doing in your life, or it's something spiritual, or if it's a belief system that's like, I'm not ready. It could be I'm not ready for extraterrestrials to be able to see them in my reality yet. Or, whatever it may be. Just know that nobody's going to force you. Nobody's going to make you. It has to be like within the heart. You just know when you're ready. So although there might be, even in this reading or me or somebody else says, just go do it. Everything is in right timing. So when you are ready, you're just going to go do it. and you'll be happy that you do. So that is the message. The freaking 10 of cups waiting for you on the other side of that belief system, of that perspective, of that situation. It's all there ready for you whenever you're ready. So thank you for allowing me to read for you. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit more Xocolatl. Whew, this does warm you up. Mm-hmm. Maybe have a little bit more cheese and apple. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that bread is going to be gone before the end of the day. I don't need to be psychic to know that. Time Harvest says, love this message. Thank you. You are very, very welcome. Mwah. And thank you, everybody who let me read for them. Let me know if there's anybody else. If not, let's channel a guided meditation. Maybe I'll finish my apple and cheese first. They taste really good together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the all-purpose flour and the spelt flour worked really well together. Interesting. Time Harvest says that bread is going to be eaten all after 50 minutes. You finish the live. I know, right? It's going to go faster than it took me to make it. Costalina says, could you just pull a general card from moi? I sure can. Let's do it. And Roger Over says, cheese plus apple equals great combo. Sweet and salty goes well. The duality of life. Yes, exactly. And what a lot of people like with the apple is when you cut it in half, it looks like the 5-pointed star, representing the 4 elements, plus the 5th element being spirit, ether. So representing humanness. The apple is us. And the cheese is the richness of life. So yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's tap in for Costalini. I'm going to continue with my spiritual mukbang. Oh my gosh, Costalini. The song that is popping into my head was a song they used to play for us in elementary school. It's like not a famous song or anything. It's like a school song. It's an elementary school song. I don't know if they had this where you went to school. But it's the peanut butter and jelly song. So it's all peanut butter and jelly. First you take the bread and you cut it. You cut it. Then you take the peanut butter and you spread it. You spread it. Then you take the jelly and you spread it. And then you put it all together. What do you got? Peanut butter and jelly. It's a silly little song, but literally that was the song that came on the spiritual radio station when I was tapping into your energy. Making peanut butter and jelly. Okay, let's see if I see anything else. Okay, so Costalini, it's like I see you, let's say like it's showing like a little picnic blanket. You're sitting there, got a big old grin. It's like you're 5 years old. You got your peanut butter and jelly, like so smitten with yourself. Like it's so delicious. Looking at all the trees, it's so beautiful. I can hear the animals, and I'm gonna have my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But as I like pull the camera out like further, and I start to see like the broader perspective of what's going on is like outside of that forest. you see all the like, oh, like chaos and worry and anxiety and oh my gosh, we got this and we got this. But here in the middle of that little forest on your little picnic blanket, eating your little peanut butter and jelly that you created yourself. And that's like the message coming from the higher self. You create that peace. You create that little sanctuary space. You create that peanut butter and jelly. All of it is you. You're the peanut butter. You're the jelly. You're the bread. So of course you can create magic with it. And it's your choice whenever you want to leave that and go into the fray. But not to say that you need to run away and fear those feelings, fear, anxiety, fear, 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 whatever it may be, worry and all that, but more trying to understand it. And the more you allow those feelings in, not to unground you, but more because you're a detective, you're curious. I'm curious about the anxiety. I'm curious about the worry. I'm curious about the fear and where it's coming from. And I'm sleuthing through it. And as you do, I see that little peaceful sanctuary in the middle of the forest start to grow. That peace starts to grow. And more of that chaos starts to dissipate until eventually your whole world is the forest. Your whole world is peace. But it all starts with you in the center making that PB&J, basically making magic in your life, knowing that you're the one making that magic, having gratitude for it, making that little piece for yourself, and then moving outwards, feeling into those different emotions, into those different thoughts, and that peace starts to expand because we're not running away from it. The moment we do, that little part in the forest becomes so much smaller. That peace is so much smaller. But what gives us the confidence is the things that you create, either physically or non-physically. And that PB&J is a symbol of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a card. Whew, and when my eyes go wonky. Costalina says, I love how you always get a song for the theme message. Peanut butter and jelly time. Yes. Roger Over says, never heard this song, but it sounds fun. They used to play it at back when I was in kindergarten, first grade. I went to a Catholic school, and that was the song that they used to play. Let's see. Time Harvest says, Tara, have I told you that I saw you as a blue avian one time? Yes. A lot of people see me as a blue avian, actually. I love those guys. I totally mesh with the blue avians. All right. So we have the Fool card. Again, how apropos, Costalini, for your message. The Fool just kind of sitting here in the middle. Like, I have no expectations, really. I could set intentions. I could create whatever magic I want. I don't fear anything, because it's all just a reflection of everything inside of myself. And why would I fear anything inside of myself? So it's like, oh, I see worry over there. Let me go check it out. Let me go ahead and unpack that. And as I do, my peace expands. So I love that. I love that for you. That's awesome. Let's see. Roger said, humans are the coolest alien. Change my mind. Dude, we come in peace. I love it. And then Riley. Okay. All right. We'll pull a card for Riley as well. Costalini says, what an awesome message. I might make a PB&J now. Do it. Do it. Have you tried making PB&J and then putting a little butter on the outside and just putting that on the grill? Just, like a hot pan, like on the stove, just like real quick, just to brown the outside. Oh, so good. Let's see. Roger Over is laughing over there. Time Harvest is Euromuck, the football player. Okay, so Riley says, I'm interested in anything you could tell me about Euromuck. Maybe what happened to his mother. Or Yomuck? Yomuck? Oh, okay. Sorry, I know who you're talking about now. I was like, I got muck brain stuck in my brain because food. But yes, the muck. Okay, It says you can check the video that will be out soon. So yes, we did a part 2 channeling of the beings known as Sasquatch, and we connected with a juvenile. That's all I'll really say. But that video comes out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or Arizona Mountain Standard Time. So definitely go check it out. But yeah, I definitely want to tap into that because I do remember him saying that he has his dad, but he doesn't have his mom, and he didn't really go into any detail about what happened to his mom. So let's definitely take a look at that. Time Harvest says, I think it was on the Astral. And Riley says, PB&J and Lammas bread. Mm-hmm. And Costanelini says, like a grilled cheese. Yes, definitely. And Time Harvest says, I enjoyed the Sasquatch channeling. Well, you're probably going to love part 2, especially the location. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. So they like it in the deep underground caves. They live in the deep underground caves. Yes. Okay, so let's tap in to Lamuk. Okay, it doesn't feel like it was any one event that killed this kid's mom. It was like a combination of a lot of events, and over time, it seemed like it eventually killed her. So the first event that I see, and I'm not really sure when this took place. I'm just seeing like the body itself and where I'm feeling things within what would have been her body. So I feel like this doesn't feel like shotgun. This feels like a very large round to the shoulder. So like having been shot in the shoulder, having been shot in the chest, twice in the chest, but not dying from that wound. And I don't feel that the bullets ever exited. So I felt like they stayed inside of her. The next event that I see is battle with 2 very large male elk. Not having been fully recovered from those bullet wounds. I don't feel it's like it was like within days of each other, but it might have been like a couple months later and just still not recovered from those bullet wounds. And then may have actually eaten elk, and that's probably why the males were so angry. But it feels like then like infection setting in, like not feeling too good, feeling ill. And then a period of time where food and clean-ish water are not so plentiful, which didn't help the healing process. So I feel like getting sick and then not recovering, like not waking up. Interesting. So yeah, it felt like it was just a lot of things, but the first was the shots, 3 shots to the chest, 1 to the shoulder. Then not being 100%, and then finding yourself kind of with some very angry elk, very large male elk. And then dealing with kind of the injuries of that. And then still not fully healed. Then it's like infections, and then not getting like proper like food and water because it's like the lean times kind of, and then just getting really sick and just not waking up from that sickness. Okay, so let's pull a card. And we have the King of Cups. Oh, you know what? It might have been pneumonia because I just keep seeing like the lungs are filling with water, like not a whole lot of water around to drink, or at least like cleanish water, but like a lot of water, like too much fluid inside of the body. So it could have been pneumonia, but something about like too much fluid is building up. So it could have been edema and stuff like that from, the various injuries that she had. Could have been pneumonia, but yeah, just a lot of fluid buildup in the body, and then eventually passing away from it. Man, it seemed like she was really tough though, because those were some big injuries. Interesting. Let's see. Time Harvest says, I don't know how we humans haven't found their homes yet. Um, you know, I feel like they're really good at disguise. Just like there's a lot of animals that we still haven't found and on our own planet. There's a lot of animals in the ocean that, fish and large fish that we haven't found yet. Like we haven't identified everything. There's a lot of things that are in the rainforest that we don't know exist yet. So I think it's very possible that something it has adapted very well to this environment, that and doesn't like to be seen. That it'd just be really good at it. But maybe some of us have stumbled upon their homes, and maybe they got ridiculed. Maybe their videos got taken down off of YouTube. I don't know. Roger Over says Sasquatches are real in this timeline. Yes. Ooh, I got to tell you guys something. Okay, so this is like last week or something. My boyfriend and his friend and I, we were all driving in his truck, and I decided to sit in the back because I never get to sit in the back seat of the truck. So I wanted to sit in the back, and we were going along, up the road, and it's real pretty. There's like tons of these beautiful trees on either side of the road, just trees as far as you could see, as we go through the reservation. And I just happened to like look out the window, and I see what appeared to my brain to look like somebody dressed all in black. I couldn't really see their face, but it looked like somebody all in black, like black gloves, black long sleeves, black pants. And all I could see was a blur as I see somebody running through the trees, almost keeping up with the pace of the truck, which was going probably over 60 miles an hour. And then I was like, I looked and I was like, whoa. And then I like looked away. I like blinked my eyes. I looked back, still there, still running. And I was like, whoa. And then I like looked down, I looked back, and it was gone. And I was just like, and I was like trying to process what I just saw. And I was like, was that I'm like trying to was that a person all dressed in black running through the forest at like top speed, like 60 miles an hour? Or was that a Sasquatch? I was like, what is that? So while my brain is trying to process it, my boyfriend and his friend were talking, and I thought of interrupting, but I didn't know what I was going to say. Really, like, hey, I saw somebody running like freaking 60 miles an hour through the forest. I don't know. I didn't really know what to say. But I did keep track of like what the mile marker was, so that when I did get my scribbles together, I could say, let's go back and take a look. So the next day we did go back to that area. I took video, I took pictures. I felt the energy that I had seen there, but I didn't see anything, like not with my two eyes. I let a friend of mine know about what I saw, and he was like, well, when I tap in, he goes, it very much feels like a juvenile. And so that same energy that I saw, running through the the reservation, I felt that similar energy when I did the channeling yesterday in the forest. I don't feel it was the exact same being, but I felt it was a very similar young energy. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow's channeling, the part 2. The first channeling I feel was like with a much older being. This being I feel is very young, just like the being that I felt was young, kind of running through the trees. So yeah, thought I would share that with you guys. Time Harvest says, what could have been? And Roger Over says, probably a skinwalker lurking around for kids. Oh no, so spooky. Time Harvest cracking up and says, running around for kids. Roger Over says, so many kids go missing in national parks. Well, I've connected to skinwalker energy before. I don't feel it was the same energy. This felt more benign and not so manipulative or trickster type energy. I really didn't like skinwalker energy, like, but that energy, not scary at all. It actually felt like a friend, like a friend that you've known for a really long time. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah. So some great questions that you guys have had so far. Thank you. Thank you. On that, let's see. I'm going to have another sip of this, and then let's do our channel guided meditation. Yeah, let's do it. Good stuff. Right into the heart chakras. In the heart chakras. Probably heart chakras all over the body. We probably haven't found all the chakras yet. Roger Over says skinwalkers are also real. Okay, now I'm getting scared. I would say don't put fear into it. I don't feel that of all the things I see, both with like my third eye and stuff that I've seen like with my actual eyes, of all the stuff that I feel is out there. I say I feel because I can't say that things are with certainty, because that's just my reality and the things that I've experienced, and everybody experiences things that are different. Nothing could ever hurt me that I haven't given permission to. Just like in 3D, either I have given some sort of 3D subconscious energetic permission for somebody to come into my life and hurt me with their words or their actions, or, because I'm trying to learn a certain lesson, even though I may not consciously know that. That's why I say it's so important for us to go inwards and to really understand our energy and what we want. Like, what am I trying to learn here? Like, what's my lesson? And I think it helps to take that fear away, because everything out there is everything in here. It has the equal amount of power as us. There might be stuff that tries to trick us and be like, I'm so powerful, I'm gonna come get you. But they can only really scare us with visuals and words and, but unless we give them some sort of permission, either consciously or subconsciously, they can't do anything other than be booga booga, but the same thing goes with like other humans, unless somebody else we give them permission to do whatever, they want, then that's what's going to happen. But the moment we learn the lesson and say, you know what, I'm cool, you go stay over there, Mr. Skinwalker, then they go stay over there. Roger Over says, how can I camp in the wild knowing this now? You're gonna be fine. I mean, the likelihood of people seeing like with their own two eyes, like something weird is like not common. Costalini says, if you can imagine something, then it exists somewhere. Yes, exactly. Our imagination is where all things are created into whatever dimension. Okay, so let me move this over here. I'm gonna move my little crumb plate out here. I'm gonna put a little lotion on my hands because I was doing dishes and such. Okay, let's do our channel guided meditation. Okay, I'm gonna move this down so we get a good view of the goodies that we made today. And we'll focus on that while we get into a meditative state. Okay. Put a little chapstick in. Okay. Let's take a little apple. Let's get a little bit of cheese.
The king has to eat.
Oh, yes. The king over here needs his sustenance. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys, go ahead and find yourself a nice, comfortable space, a place you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be laying in your bed, sitting in a chair, perhaps sitting on the floor, or underneath your favorite tree. And let's go ahead and bring our awareness to our breath, feeling the rise and fall of your chest, just where we notice this breath, perhaps in the throat, in the lungs, maybe down into the diaphragm. Maybe you feel the breath all the way down to your tippy toes, down into Mama Gaia. With every exhale, we feel our eyes becoming heavier, our jaw begin to loosen, the shoulders falling away from the ears, the arms becoming heavy at your side. Breathing in and out. Feeling the lower back begin to loosen and our hips. Feeling the legs become heavy, the feet falling where they may. Feeling absolutely relaxed, at peace and safe in this moment. Breathing in and out. And now I want you to imagine that you are in a place that you feel most safe. This could be your bedroom, it could be at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, it could be under a shady tree, any place that you feel safe, grounded, and secure. And I want you to imagine it in as much detail as possible, how it feels, how it looks, how it smells. Maybe you can hear music in the background or the sound of birds high above your head. Maybe the rustling of leaves as the wind dances through the trees. But imagine this place. And now, I want you to imagine that standing before you is whatever your ego fears most. It could be a situation standing before you. It could be a person, it could be an animal. It could be something that you've only heard of in lore and folk tales. But remember that you are in a safe and grounded space. There is nothing that this being or person or situation can do to you except stand there. And now what we're going to do, just like we used to do when we watched Scooby-Doo, is we are going to unmask that being, that person, that situation to uncover what our actual fear is. So go ahead and pull the mask off of that scary person, that scary creature, the myth, the situation, pull its mask off. And there you find truth. What is it that you really fear? Maybe you fear powerlessness. You fear being alone. Maybe you fear being wrong. Maybe you fear failure. And that's what this being, this folk tale, this human animal situation, that's what they really represent. And with this knowledge, you feel empowered. You start to feel the nervousness begin to dissipate as you feel a strength glowing within your solar plexus, taking back your power. I've unmasked what I thought was scary, and I saw what I truly feared. And now I know I have the ability to tackle it. I can heal it. I can reprogram it. I could work through it. It's nothing to be feared anymore. So we morph that situation, that being, that person, that thing that we've unmasked. And now we see sitting before us one of our favorite, most cutest animals. Or perhaps you are into plants and it's your favorite plant sitting there, ready to work with you through this healing. Whether it be a bunny, a rose bush, maybe it's your favorite song sitting there. But if you can transform it in the astral, you can transform it in the 3D. So you thank the being for showing you the actual area in need of healing. And we release it. Release the bunny, release the roses, release the song. And at any time when you are ready, you can heal this area. And so now we bring our awareness back into our body, wiggling our fingers and toes, perhaps having ourselves a little stretch. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today in the kitchen, baking up a storm and making our Xocolatl drink. I might actually warm it back up again because I don't want to waste it. It's so good. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for those who allowed me to read for them. Thank you for pulling cards along with me. Thank you for just being so supportive. You guys are amazing. Let me know if this 2 o'clock time works out for you. Maybe we'll try it again next week. Perhaps maybe we'll try earlier time, maybe 1 o'clock or noon. But we'll see how it goes. We'll keep playing around with the times. We'll see what works best for everybody. All right. So thank you guys so much. Let's see. Let's go back here. Time Harvest is king. Roger Over said, great meditation. Time Harvest said, love it. God bless. Same to you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you have some magical fun in your kitchen, whether you are making Mayan ceremonial Xocolatl, or you are making sweet Lammas bread, or whatever creations you guys want to make. Remember that the recipe for my Xocolatl is actually down below in the description box. And if you guys have ideas that you want me to actually put into the poll so people could vote on them, I'm open to ideas too. So sometimes people send me stuff over on Instagram at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot with like ideas of like, hey, put this out there and see if people vote on it. So that could be cool too. But yeah, thank you guys for pulling cards with me, for hanging out, for listening to my mukbang and the guided meditation. Thank you for letting me pull cards for you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, guys.